Hi there, Adapter community. We are here at the Urban Living Festival, Canary Wharf, London, reporting on all trends, future and past in some respects, because sometimes we're in the past. I am here with Paul Rands. Paul is the Managing Director of the Future of Hospitality Institute and Service Living with PKF Hospitality Group. And it is an honor to have you.
Thank you, Sean.
And you just think about the future.
Yeah. What a great way to spend your life thinking about the future. And the future's exciting. The future's exciting. You mentioned service living. That's my focus. It's my love. I think it's a wide and varied area, and it's meeting a demand that's coming. Because actually, whatever way we look at it, and some call it the hotelification of real estate, the blurring of the lines. I think we see it as where hotels and residential are coming together.
So when you think of hotels and residential and all of this, you mentioned to us off camera that you're into senior living and you think that's a big upside. How do you think that's going to contribute to a community, and how is that going to adapt inside the regulatory environment?
Well, I'm sad to say I think I've probably got a personal interest in senior living coming up in the next few years, although we all like to deny it. But yeah, I think senior living is an area that's going to explode over the next decade, and it's changing. I think we've seen historically retirement villages and an approach to almost giving up on that age group, and that's changing. And there are some great concepts and entrepreneurs and operators in the space that are innovating this and now recognizing, I think, that there needs to be a different approach to senior living, later living. Not quite sure what we call it yet. I think there's debate about that. But whatever happens, it's going to look very, very different to what we've seen before.
So we are all about adaptation and innovation. You mentioned blurring. Who's actually adapting really well and who's truly innovating?
Well, if I come back to the senior space, I mean, I think there's some interesting startups in Europe. You look at people like the Embassies of Good Living, SoMe Homes, again in Austria, that are really trying to look at meeting this market demand. And two levels of market demand, actually. If you take Embassies, that's a higher end, more sort of luxe end, I suppose. SoMe Homes recognizing there's this gap.
What are they doing to adapt? Have you got any examples of that, or innovate?
I think what they're trying to do is create an environment and a community that kind of meets for that group, and do it in a way that actually is quite like co-living for the younger generation. So, using technology, because actually if we're now looking at the age group coming forward and is going to be using senior living in the next 20, 30 years, it's going to be very different from the ones using it now. So I think technology is going to be a big driver around that. This whole idea of community fighting loneliness is really important, and they're looking to address this. I think.
Now, is there an app for that, or you swipe left for happy and swipe,
Well, I'm sure there could be. Yes. With tech, I think anything's possible, isn't it? But the way of bringing community together through tech, but making it very easy for the user to exist in a space, to meet people, and to have community.
So you get the last wrap-up word there. Any other examples of true innovation?
Well,
real differences.
Yeah, I mean, come back to co-living again. I think we're in this version 2 of co-living now. I think co-living again is an area that's going to grow dramatically. Now, I think it's had not the greatest press. There's lots of talk about digital nomads. Who are those digital nomads? Is it really a large enough community to sustain something? But actually, I look at it differently. If you look at the target market on co-living, 25 to 35 age group. Every year in Europe, 5 million graduates coming out of European universities. Now, that's a pretty good conveyor belt of potential users of this kind of product. But they're coming into the job market, looking for somewhere to live, potentially in new cities, and actually it's difficult. It's not affordable. Actually, the existing housing stock isn't great. So I think some of these operators now that are coming forward are offering really great, innovative space. They're combining that blend between a smaller personal space, but with great amenity and public areas, co-working. Again, people now working more from home, working more remotely, needing to be providing these facilities.
You know, it's great spending time with Paul. First of all, fair play to PKF for appointing a leader to think about these issues, because thinking seems to be a gap. It's a lot of doing. Secondly, let's get the lines clear on adaptation and innovation as to what that really means. And three, let's get the tech to get connected to what the definition of what the outcome is. If it's community, how do you create a community so it's easy for them to select where they want to stay, how they want to stay, and how they want to think and feel, regardless of age group? So we're going to keep covering these topics. Stay tuned for more. And again, this is the Adapters from the Urban Living Festival, Canary Wharf, London.